This is Nanette, and I want to introduce to you my good friend Allison Biel. Did I say your last name right? I never say your last name.
You said it perfectly.
Okay.
Hi, Nanette. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. Yeah, just hello to all your wonderful viewers as well. It's such an honor to be here today. I am from the UK. I am a hypnotherapist, and I have the honor and privilege of doing past life regressions. So yeah, that's what I do. It sort of came to be through it all started out with Dolores Cannon, really, who was the pioneer with the past life regressions. And she used to be, I don't know, for those who don't know this, her background, she used to be, her husband was a hypnotherapist, and she used to go with him and help him. And on an occasion, a lady that her husband was helping, I think it was with weight loss, jumped into a past life suddenly, and this intrigued her so much that she became a hypnotherapist herself and developed her own technique. And she is not with us anymore, unfortunately. Of her students, Alba Weinman and Antonio Sangio, were two of her students in her second last class that she ever gave. So she was teaching others the QHHT hypnotherapy technique for, past life regressions. And Antonio and Alba did QHHT for years. And then from there, they developed their own technique and started teaching others. And my story is that I, as we all do, went through that dark night of the soul. And as I was coming out of this difficult, challenging time, I started being intrigued by past lives. And I started investigating a little bit, and my partner and I were watching a series called Intruders. And it was all about these elitist people who found a way to live forever. So it is all, made up, but they found a way to live forever. So they had these, they would, as we all do, they would reincarnate, and then they would have these watchers who would then at an appointed time wake them up. So it was all nonsense, but it intrigued me nonetheless.
I don't know, that sounds like fiction mirroring nonfiction to me.
Yes,
exactly. Mirroring real life, absolutely.
Exactly.
The archangels have been called the Watchers when they weren't called that. So it's very, yes.
Yes. And so there you go. This is actually could be real, but this was all the elitists trying to live their lives, and live forever and live the same, wake up and live the same life. And they used it for, not
material.
for material. Yeah, exactly. So when I started investigating, it became very interesting. You find a lot of the scientists that investigate children remember their past lives. So yes, so that's where I sort of started, became convinced that this could actually be real. And then I found Alba Weinman, her YouTube channel, and she does these sessions and she places them on YouTube, and she is just a guru. She's amazing, and she's got a huge following. And I remember the first one I watched, it was incredible. It was like a whole new world opened up
Mm.
for me.
A
And
whole new world.
there you go.
Sorry.
There you go. And just so much opened up, for me in that session. And when you watch her sessions, you just think to yourself, that is just incredible. And people can't make this stuff up. It is just incredible. And then I had the privilege of being able to train with her and Antonio. Myself, I've after watching many of her sessions and being a big fan for years, I was able to actually train with her and Antonio, and became an introspective hypnosis. By the way, they call their a technique introspective hypnotherapy. So yeah, and I haven't looked back since I've started doing this. It's been the most incredible journey. It's just, yeah, I have had the most amazing clients, and I just feel like it's the best job in the world.
Yeah, and it's only just that's when you're doing what you love. So that's what lead us to here, because Allison came to one of my alchemy classes.
Yes, I did.
I've been saying that I'm gonna have her on my channel, but was it a week or 2 weeks ago? Archangel Michael was kind of like saying, there's something that she's been working on that's going to be beneficial to your viewers. And we got on the phone and we what's it called when you throw ideas around, until we
Brainstorming.
brainstormed until we found the answer, which was it's simple. It's about releasing fear, which Michael is always about.
Yes.
But so we're going to get started with that, and I want you to lead in with some of the experiences that have led, that have to do with releasing fear. Go on.
Yeah. So often what we do in the sessions is not just for having a wonderful journey and seeing stuff. And it's not about, a lot of people like the whole idea of, the being a past king or queen, or being the goddess Isis or something like that. But it's not all about that. It's about working on those past life experiences, learning from them, and seeing what those past lives, the impact they have on this life. Simple examples are, I had a client who was a young man in a previous life and worked in the mines. And the mine fell in and he died there. And so in today's lifetime, when the client goes on the underground train, she gets panic attacks.
Okay.
And she could never understand why she gets panic attacks when she goes on the underground. So when she saw this past life, afterwards, when we chatted, she said, this is why I get the panic attacks. It makes perfect sense. So this is, little things that, in previous lives that, we can learn from. The way we die in those lives is of utmost importance as well. So imagine, a traumatic death. One of the most traumatic, and that comes up quite often for regressionists, is the witches being burnt at the stake.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine, that experience, the trauma, the people shouting at you, all kinds of horrible things, and the people that are doing this to you. And, if you are a witch in that time and you're just a healer and you were just doing good for others, and these people are doing this to you, you don't understand why. It's very traumatic, and you would be angry as well, wouldn't you?
Angry, and there's
At those
fear
people.
from all sides in that
And the
case.
fear, yes, the fear and the anger. And, think about the last thoughts that would be going through your mind at that stage. And that's what we find when we do this, so that you go through that and understand the process. And then obviously you need to deal with the forgiveness as well,
Yes.
of these people, to find the healing afterwards. Otherwise you can't move on. And it also brings up things like that, brings up birthmarks, or there's unexplained pain.
Yes.
And the doctors tell you there's nothing wrong with
Nothing
you,
wrong.
and you're telling the doctor, but I there's something seriously wrong with me. It's worth checking out to see, when you have unexplained,
And
health.
this is a very beautiful way. I brought Allison on today because this is such a beautiful way to help heal past life stuff. You may still need to go to, a spiritual counselor and work on the inner work and release and all that stuff. But here you have sometimes spontaneous healing in these.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That release that comes, and that aha moment that they find, that's what I live for, in my sessions, when they, and with this, it's your subconscious, so you're seeing everything and experiencing it for yourself. So it's not someone else. It's very different when someone else is telling you, oh, this happened. That's also fantastic. But when
I
you
do that to my
actually
kids
see
all the
it
time.
for yourself.
Well, you had a past life where this happened. That's why you're acting that way. And they just look at me like they're used to me. Like they've had me their whole life. So they're like, yeah, whatever, Mom.
You're so amazing. When you were telling me the stories about your doggy, and he the things he tells you, it's just incredible. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. You know what? I just said that. I just saw a text and I was talking to that person. That's hilarious. I did not mean to do that on the video. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, but these are things I developed, and these are, this is what the journey's about. It's about finding your own inner power. So of course, yeah, I think, but, as far as, and Archangel Michael is always here talking about releasing fear and the sword of truth. We are warriors. We are warriors of light. We are warriors of love. And there's no room in the light for the fear, because it's either one or the other. It's one or the other, right? And in order to, this is how he's explained it to me, in order to move into the 5D, to ascend, these fears have to be released. And I think a lot of people right now are dealing with fears. They're dealing with ancestral healing. They're dealing with collective healings that are painful as all get out, and you get immersed in it and this and that, but it has to be cleared from Gaia. It has to be cleared, for us to move forward the way we need to move forward. And no one here, because we talked about this victim mentality too, no one here is a victim. especially if you're watching this, if you're doing this stuff, you did it. You asked to do this.
Mm.
And, I've heard the angels say in the future,
Mm-hmm.
we are looked upon as these incredible beings for what we do right now.
Mm.
And that is something I know that just gave me, I have chills like
Yeah,
running
I
all through me.
know. It's
Because
powerful.
because when you are in the trenches of this, when you are in the dark night, and so when you are going into your inner shadows and other people's inner shadow work, collective, ancestral, it does not feel glamorous at all. At
No.
all, but it is glamorous. It is so glamorous. You jumped up and raised your hand and said, "Let me in there. I can do this. I've done it
Yes.
before."
Oh, what I always say is, I see myself around that table with my guides and masters planning this lifetime and going, oh, I'll do that. I want to do that. And these things happen in your life and you go, why did I do that?
Next time, tell me no, right? I say that to my angels and they say, you don't listen to anyone. I don't know why you're acting like someone could tell you to say no.
What are we like? We're all like that. And as the soul, when we plan all this, it's similar. And I had this conversation with my partner the other day, and I explained it to him this way. We were having a conversation about having, our Maine Coon cats. And we're having a conversation about when summer comes to have them, their hair trimmed so that they're a bit cooler, because they're quite fluffy and thick hair. And they suffer a bit when it gets really, really warm. And so we were thinking about that, and Julian turned around to me and he said, yeah, but it's so traumatic for them. And it's like a light bulb went on with me, and I thought, that's how it works. When we're planning this life, it's the same as me thinking, yeah, but it's half an hour in with, we drop them off, it's half an hour. They go through this trauma, but they're going to have a lovely summer. So what about that half an hour trauma? But for them, that half an hour trauma is horrible. But we don't feel it, we don't think it. And it's the same thing. When you plan this life, you think, I can do it, I've got this. And then you come, and when you're going through it, you go, oh, I don't want to do this. Why?
I know. Absolutely. And I've talked to them and they're like, oh yeah, the guides are always like, maybe you just, no, give it to me. Give me more. And a lot of us are like that. I'm not special. This is, a lot of us are like that. We're like, no, I can handle it. And we can, the big thing about this is realizing that you can handle it. I have put myself through absolute hell again and again, and I come out the other end stronger. We can handle this, and we're doing it for a reason. And so, okay, back to what else do you have on the fear? I love these stories.
Well, what you just said there reminded me about what Abram always says, everything is always working out for me.
Absolutely.
Everything is always working out for me. That's it. That's it, period. And think about it. You've had so many difficult times and you've always gotten through them. So whatever lies in the future, we'll get through them. But this is also why this helps. My sessions have the past life section, and then you have the life between life section. So so people can actually touch base with their higher self or their guides and experience that life between life, and they can ask the questions that they would like to know. And something you and I talked about that's been a theme is when people have, been in the life between life part. A lot of my clients are spiritual, so they ask, am I on the right path? am I doing all that I can do at this time to help
Mhm.
the collective, and doing everything I should be doing? And the answer that's come back time and time and time again for them is, you are doing great. You need to rest. When the time comes, you will know what to do. Every single time, same message coming through.
Oh,
So
I wrote that down too.
absolutely,
Yep.
that's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
thing that I got channeled right when you said that was,
Mhm.
it's time to, because people start getting downloads and stuff, and they still
Yeah.
think they need to get up and run. And sometimes you have to rest. You have to rest and let it alchemize through your body. You know what I mean? It transmutes old energies and flows them out. You have to rest this stuff out and
Mm,
shower it. Like,
mm, mm.
even if you use an energetic shower, something to push out, some of
Yes.
your stuck energies. I know you deal with
Yeah.
a lot of that. And then rest, let the downloads come in, whatever they are,
Yeah.
for your own journey. But when you feel tired, this is what I always say on my channel: when you feel tired, you should rest. And when your body doesn't feel tired, but your mind does, then you should try to meditate.
Mm, very good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about ascension symptoms, and I the last few months of 2021 was really heavy with the strong energies coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's finished. I
It's
think
never
I think
finished.
more's coming.
What do you think we're gonna do once we get to the next goal we have? We're gonna have a new goal. We're never finished. It's
Never
like
finished.
Abraham Hicks says, we're incomplete. We're blissfully incomplete. I mean, we're
Yeah.
never finished. Yeah.
No, exactly, exactly.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. It sounds so cliche, and it's sometimes you just don't want to hear that, but it's true. That's what you signed up for. Yeah.
And it's also what's life altering about viewing it this way, about you planned this journey, is a new respect for that. Then, so when things happen, no resistance is coming up. You understand. you know I keep telling myself every time something, happens, and, it's, especially if you're an empath and things are happening to others that you love, you
Mhm.
don't understand, why, and you feel it so strongly. And what I've had to learn is, you've got to let them live their journey, respect their journey.
You
They
have to.
planned this. Yeah, yeah,
And also, I want to say something since you brought it up. I'm such an
yeah.
empath. I can feel, and I can feel things, and it sometimes can drive you crazy. So what I do is I I kind of put an energetic push out around myself to see if it's me, because I don't want to carry other people. You can't do that. It's like you can't grieve for other people. You can't grow for other people. You
Yeah.
can't do their anxiety. So I kind of do that to see, is this mine? And if it is mine, then it's usually, an energy movement that I need to do. So I'll move my energy, that
Mhm.
kind of thing. So yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
think that's
Yeah.
important. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. And what you said there about, pushing that energy out, and protecting yourself, that's also very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little story about protecting yourself. Uh, one of the ladies, a friend of mine that did the course with me, with Alba and Antonio,
Mm-hmm.
um, she we became really, really good friends, and we support each other in this work that we do, and we touch base every now and again. And she messages me and she says, "I need a session. I need a
Mm-hmm.
session." And I'm like, "Of course." And then when we get together, and it's like, "Well, why do you need a session?" And she says to me, someone that had a session with her had such a powerful session. And even more so, you know, when I was talking earlier about the first video that I watched and how my eyes opened, well, this person just really started seeing, you know, beyond the veil. And they had a session, and then they caught up again. And when they caught up, the person said to her, there's someone standing behind you. And she was like, really? And he then said to this person, oh, we didn't realize you were this far advanced. And he introduced himself, and he said he's Joseph, and he's my friend's guide. And he said that, asked her to tell my friend that she needs a session with her friend in the UK. And this person didn't even know that she had a friend in the UK that does this kind of work. So it's just mind-blowing. And then as soon as we started the session, it's very similar to channeling. He came through straight away, Joseph, and he spoke to us so beautifully, and he had loads of messages for both of us. But the main thing that he wanted to talk to us about is protecting yourself, and, you know, teaching others to protect yourself. You know, it's very important.
It is, and it's a stepping stone. Like, well, I was just talking about feeling energy, but it's a stepping stone, because you get, I want to say this because I think people might feel frustrated with the idea of having to always protect themselves. You will start to it's an energetic thing. You will automatically start being able to do without even thinking about it. It's just something, it's kind of like a training, a retraining, a remembering of how to, you know, do this stuff spiritually, and how to, you know, as you're moving through, because honestly, when you get to a certain point, you don't need protection at all. You understand who you are, you know. It takes some work, it takes some remembering, it takes some releasing of, because we are so programmed in this matrix. It takes a deprogramming. It takes, you know, a letting go of the illusions. My guide always said, that's an illusion. That's a program. That's an so yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's very important, because when you start opening up, what happens is, no, it's not good or bad, but there's this light and dark stuff going on. And when your light starts to shine, then, you know, oh, let's go play there, kind of thing. So you got to, and not just human beings, it's just energies too. I mean, people want to mess with you, energies kind of. So you'll get to a point where you're like, okay, I got this. But you should always, as an empath, you know, you should always, because sometimes, you know, it's not comfortable. I don't know whatever degree empath you might be. I'm very empathetic. So I can feel anything going on. And then it's always my stomach. And I'm like, oh, I can't, I'm not going to be sick. So I'm going to see, is this me, or do I need to move energy? What do I need to do? Because this is too much, too much. Absolutely. Yeah. But I love this. I love what you're talking about. Now, what else were we talking about with fear? Let me see. Something you did. You have another one written down? You wrote them down. Go ahead. Go with your own.
No. I thought about, you know, we said about the victim. Oh, and something else I wanted to say also with the protection, and going back to what we talked about, you know, your life that you planned. So think about, you know, you made these contracts with your guides and with your people in your life. You made contracts to be, you know, learn certain things in this life. So they would have signed up for that and agreed to that. So that's why I'm saying you made contracts before you came. And you have contracts with certain guides. And for certain things that you're going through in your life, there will be certain guides. So you have your guides that are always with you, and then there are ones that come in for specific things. And when tough times come, these guides, they are experts. They have already been through the same thing you've been through. You wouldn't have made a contract with someone who, you know, who isn't experienced and know their stuff. So it's putting that trust, you know, in the fact that you are, you know, protected, and that they are there, you know, to carry you through.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just heard that this is weird channel. I just heard that president that said there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Was that JFK? I think it was.
Oh, could have been, yeah.
I think it was JFK. I know I'm not good at quoting historical figures, but yeah. So why did that just come in? Because when you I'm asking the angels.
Yeah.
Because when you understand the truth about the illusion of what you've walked into, when you understand that you already are ascended, when you understand that, then you understand that fear is just an illusion also. Like, you are love, you are light.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I hear you. And we are all one, aren't we? So,
We are.
you know, yeah.
That's another big one of Michael's. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't remember who it is that I was listening to, and they were saying that, you know, they were talking about exactly what you were talking about the fear and about the illusion, and that really it is all an illusion, and by that logic you can't be harmed, can you?
No.
You know, so yeah.
And I think I'm really lucky because I don't really focus on past lives unless it's to help me with this one. But sometimes someone will say something and one will pop in my head and it just helps me realize that it's an illusion. I had this one day, and don't get freaked out because it's like you watch it, you don't feel any emotions about it. But something triggered this remembrance, and I'm on the battlefield. And a cannon goes through me, and you know, you pop right out. You just pop right out of your body, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, and it was almost like a funny moment, like, oh, I guess oh, I guess that happened. There's a big hole in the middle of me, like, and it was just comical to me. And it's kind of, you know, we pick this as a destination because we have to immerse ourselves in the illusion, and we have to find a way out of the illusion. And we are so powerful that we can be fooled into the illusion. That I think people get that a little backwards. They think that maybe they don't have a lot of power because they're so immersed in the illusion, but oh my gosh, you're such a powerful being. You can make yourself feel small. You can make yourself feel anything, you know, lost, and you're never lost, and you're never small. And so it's just a beautiful understanding as you go through your spiritual awakenings and ascensions and fun stuff.
Yeah. But that is true. I have often had that when clients, because what happens is, you know, in the sessions we visit several scenes in one lifetime, and maybe more than one lifetime, depends on how much you're being shown. And then we move to a death scene, and then they leave the body. And yeah, you're right, you know, depending on who it is or what happened, they can just pop out of the body.
Pop right out.
Yeah.
That I guess that happened. What a relief
So
to be
you,
popped
Nanette.
out of a war scene, though. You got, nobody can argue with that. That's got to be a big relief, you know? Good Lord. And I was in the Army. I trained. And I know if I was in the middle of a war scene, maybe, you know,
Yes.
I might be happy to be popping out
Wow.
of it.
Ah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
that's brilliant, Nanette.
Well, do you have any other examples?
Just, going back to what you just said, something came to mind where, you know, the reasons these things happen, and our understanding. So and through this work, it's also helps understand. It's like we come to school.
Mm.
So we sign up for these experiences for a reason, for the soul to progress to the next level. And so it is like coming to school. So there is a reason why we chose that and why we come. So you can find a certain peace in that, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
And think, if I see someone else now and they're going through a tough time, I think, you brave soul signing up to do this, instead of, taking that
Poor
on
thing, or that, yeah.
and bringing the resistance and, oh, you poor thing. And, you think, you brave soul. And then you hold space for them and you root for them to get through this, So it's just, respecting that journey, letting
Mm-hmm.
go of
Just
that
ensure you're
resistance.
doing that for yourself too. I got told to cut
Mm,
you off and say that to you.
I know.
Just be
Yes,
sure you're
Archangel Michael.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think what you do is amazing. I think it's really cool. I love that stuff. I mean, I can channel all day long. I don't know if I'd ever have the patience to sit with someone while they go. So I think it's amazing that you do that. And what do you
Thank you.
do you want to talk about what you charge or no?
So my sessions are £199. And what I do is I have a consultation with you, which is my navigation for the session. And then we have a session which can be 2 to 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that works.
Do you do a recording of it?
Yes, you get a recording of
Yeah,
your
that's
session.
important. People want to know that.
Yes, yes, I forgot to say that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
No problem. And then if I put your email address below, is that how they can reach you?
Yeah, and I'll give you my website details as well.
Oh, you have a web? Okay, yeah, just
Yeah,
send
I've got.
it to
Yeah,
me
I
and
should
I'll
have said.
click it in.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I suggest you all sign up with Allison. She is such a beautiful soul. She's got such a soft, beautiful spirit, and she's kind and loving and giving, and she I can just tell, like, you will go the extra mile if someone really needs a little bit extra time and that kind of thing, so
Yes,
I think it's worth it.
And it's just, the absolute best job in the world. I just absolutely love it.
And you do want to work with someone that feels that way. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, if that is all, I guess we can just end it for now. And please like, share, subscribe if this is helpful, and help get my friend Allison out there. Let's get her some clients. I love you all.
Thank you, Nanette.
Mm-hmm.